Okay, one of the more confusing aspects of a real estate transaction are the actual closing cost credits, with the common questions being, what are they, who covers them, and how do you go about them? Well, welcome to Let's Get Frank About Real Estate. I'm Frank McManus with Lamacchia Realty, and today we're going to clear up the confusion around what closing cost credits are for both the buyers and the sellers. Now, these can be a great tool to help a buyer execute the purchase of a home by allowing them to have more money in their pocket after the closing to use for any type of repairs or upgrades that might be needed, or for purchasing any necessities that they need. Now, the confusion for buyers is typically that they will actually be receiving money back at the closing table, but this is not the case. Instead, you can use the credits toward your closing costs or anything related to the closing costs, such as prepaid interest or taxes. And if the credits completely covers those costs allotted, you only have to bring the down payment to the closing table. Now, the confusion for sellers, on the other hand, is that you think you are actually paying these fees. But the reality is false. What's actually happening is that when these credits are requested by the buyer, their offer price is typically inflated by the requested amount, and therefore netting you the amount that you've been looking for. For example, if you're asking $700,000 and the request is for $14,000 in credits, or 2% of the asking price, the offer will typically be presented as $714,000 with the requested $14,000 in credits, thereby netting you the $700,000 price point that you've been wanting. Now, lastly, let's touch on a couple of common questions. How much are typical closing costs? Well, you can usually expect to pay somewhere between 1% and 5% of the sale price. Number two, can the credits go toward the down payment? Unfortunately not. That needs to come from you, the buyer, directly. And lastly, number three, who is responsible for paying the closing costs? Well, typically, both the buyer and the seller can expect to share in any and all of the costs that should be covered. Now, to read the full detailed blog on this topic, you can go to lamacchiarealty.com, and in the top search bar, just type in closing costs. As always, I hope this information helps you, and for more videos like these, you can go to my Facebook, my Instagram, and my YouTube pages. Until next time.